What's going on, guys? Welcome to our Final Fantasy FFBE video, and this is another video that won the poll, my recent poll in the community tab. So make sure you guys check my community tab very often by clicking on my button on clicking on Deus Gaming, and then going to the community tab, and you'll see a whole bunch of stuff going on. While I'm always keeping up to date with you guys and all that kind of information and polls and whatnot. Anyways, so this is what won the poll. We're going to be talking about what are the differences between global side and the JP side. And now, this is not going to be a video talking about which one is better or which one is worse. I'm just going to tell you guys what the global side has and what the JB side has, and some things that you guys may not know. Like, oh wow, the JB side has this, maybe the global side will get this. Or maybe, oh wow, the global side has this, maybe the JB side will get it someday. It's probably not going to be the other way around. But remember, guys, this is not going to be, oh my god, global is the winner. Yes, let's do a parade for Gumi and Alan, or just Gumi and whatnot, but no. This is just telling you guys the facts and stuff like that. So let's get into it. So I got both of them side by side, and as you can see, they look a little different. Stuff like that going on. So first, the global side has the expeditions, but the JP side also has a very similar version of expedition, which is this right here. So we got expeditions for this, which is much more straightforward to most players. You can just go in and put some units in, and they go out and they get some stuff and they come back. And you also get some rewards per week, which the JP side does not have anything quite like this. Also, the global side has that ability where you can craft Esper ores with these relic materials. JP side doesn't have that. The only way they can get those ores are doing this expedition here. It's basically the same as this exploring the Mulu cave, except you get a lot of other things in between. A lot of it's kind of junk at this point. I really think that expeditions need to be revamped on the JP side at this point, because you run for however many, 20 something hours, and most of it you get is junk, and it's rolling the dice if you're going to get an Esper or not, and typically you only get one. Whereas on the global side, if you wait a few months, you'll be able to craft a whole bunch of them. So that's a plus. Remember, guys, we're not talking about plus or minus, but that is a good thing about that. When you have to spend lapis in order to get multiple slots, and sometimes they do give away this last slot here sometimes during a king log and whatnot. So that's one thing. One thing that the JP side does have is different login system. So a lot of time you'll be able to, like for example right now, and if you're watching this right now and you're playing the JP side, make sure you guys do this. Make sure you guys put the friend gift as this thing right here, and also you can get some potions, some energy bottles and whatnot. On the global side, it's not even close to being the same. It's just a fact that the rewards, like the friend gift rewards, are not nearly as good. It's been saying the same for years, whereas on the JP side, you can always exchange for the material that's always during the event. If it's a king log, you can always put for the king log material or raid material, anything like that. So that's one thing. Another thing that just showed up, what you guys just saw, they have different missions. So different daily missions for the global side and the JP side. The JP side is much more simple. Just do 7 quests per day and you get 3 things. I really think it needs to be kind of revamped at this point, because there's a little lapis at the end, but the global side gets way more lapis than the JP side does per day. You get 20 lapis at the end for 7 quests, but it's much easier. But the global side gets a whole bunch of lapis per day if you do these quests. You get 100 lapis if you do both of these on the weekends only, just so you know. So usually this is the only one that shows up for the 7 one. The 12 one, actually I don't typically do it very often because I just don't have time. But you can get 100 lapis over the weekend, so you can get 200 lapis on the weekends. So there's that. Also, JP side usually does some of these missions that global side has actually been getting lately. But yeah, so the JP side does do these kind of side missions very often. They'll have a bunch of these kind of options here for more stuff. and whatnot. Not just this, but the global side has been doing this a little more often. They'll do that. So there's that. Another thing, their summon pages are a little different. The JP side is kind of a mess. The global side is more structured, it's more easy to access. Whereas, look at all the stuff that they've got going on right now. They just kind of have a whole bunch of stuff going on, and whatnot. And the global side has the same, basically the same tickets on the global side, but these are not limited time only. Whereas on the JP side, these are limited time to this month. You have to use these tickets by the end of the month, or else they go away forever and they will not be useful. Whereas on the global side, you can use these for however you can just store them forever, and you can hold on to them forever. And if you want to use them, you can use them. Also, global side has all these kind of tickets here, which understandably they're not as good as they were before the Neovision era, but the JP side does not have anything quite like that. So there's that as well. The JP side has stuff that global side will eventually will get, like these shard tickets where you can pick shards and whatnot, but that's mostly because global side hasn't gotten it just yet. The global side has, some people may roll their eyes at this one, but they do have awakening or latent abilities, which have not really been relevant for a very long time, but they are a thing in the game that global does have and the JP side does not have. So that's another thing. So there's that. The global side does bundles a little differently to the JP side. The JP side does do bundles every now and then, and they've actually been doing them a little more often than they've been doing. So this is actually technically a bundle. This premium box, they call them premium boxes or things like that. So yes, there are bundles here, and the global side also does bundles now. The JP side rarely does bundles. They used to never do them, but now they actually are doing them a lot more often. As you can see here, there are this, and there's more bundles there and whatnot. But this is mainly, remember guys, we're trying to go into depth in everything, even if it is something that's not like free to play friendly or whatnot. But the JP side does do, I guess you could consider these bundles. They're like advanced bonuses on Lapis purchases. So the global side does not do this at all. Sometimes they do, like, I think they've only done this like twice in the entire game's period, maybe 3 times. Sometimes they'll do like extra EX point rewards and stuff like that, but typically they don't. The global side does however, have a special shop that has VIP coins. The JP side does not have this. The JP side does not have anything similar. They have something similar to this, which I'll show you, but it's not the same as VIP coins. So the JP side does have being able to purchase shards per day. I think it's per day. 1,000 lapis for getting some shards here. So the JP side does have this, but the global side also has something that you can exchange VIP coins for or lapis for. So it's kind of like a thing like that, and they do have the guild shop as well, so that's the same. They also have the guild shop. It's the exact same. You can go down here, it's going to be the exact same. They just have them in a different order. Oh, the JP side doesn't, or the global side doesn't have that material, I guess, but it's really not that big of a deal. The material is pretty much useless. And eventually the global side will also probably get these items here that you can use to... They use them as chaining, basically. Use it as a throwing weapon or as an item, and you chain with that while using it, basically. So there's that as well. Another thing is that the JP side does structure their events a little more differently. They'll have them a certain time, but it'll always be 10 days is when the next event comes out. The global side tends to do maybe 14 days for an event, typically. Maybe sometimes less than that, but typically they do a little bit longer, and the JP side typically is 10 days per maintenance. Sometimes they'll do some in between, but they're not usually big maintenances. So there's that. And on top of that, they also have something that's, I guess, I don't know if it's ever going to come out or not, but as you can come here and see, they've got a special page here, the same thing, but they do not have these just yet, these recaps. So maybe someday they'll have that. And on top of that, the JP side does have these trials which you can only use 3 and 4 star units, which was very fun back in the day to do that. And I guess they dropped it because I guess there was not enough, I don't know if there was enough interest, or they didn't want to give out too many trust coins. Now trust coins are not even that big of a deal. They can make a whole bunch, they can give someone like 100,000 trust coins and it probably wouldn't even matter that much. But the global side does have the Chamber of Vengeful, which is kind of a meme to most of you guys at this point, because they've said that they were doing more, but they haven't really done much more. But the global side does have the Chamber of Vengeful, so that's another thing that you could say that they have that they don't have and whatnot. The JP side does have shard missions, the daily shard mission per day, whereas the global side tends to do it every now and then. So there's that. And also the global side has a more convenient exchange page. You can go right to the king log and it doesn't crash. Sometimes on the JP side when I click on this button it will crash the game. Hopefully that gets fixed soon. Eventually another thing that will happen eventually to the global side as well is that they'll get double, unless this, I think this already happened actually. You can have double red star quartz. That will happen eventually. And another thing, I guess we're just going to be talking a lot about like quality of life that the global side eventually will get. So they reworked the arena tickets to where you got rid of a lot of the junk. So as you can see here, there's no more junk in this. There's no more cactuars, there's no more turtles. You can only get pots, energy, star quartz, and red star quartz, although it's a little more rare to obtain red star quartz, unfortunately. And I hope that they tweak that a little bit better to make it so you can actually get them more often, right? I hope that that's going to be a thing in the future. So there's that. Also, the global side is doing the roulette a lot more often than the JB side did. I know it's kind of like people didn't like the roulette because it came from the JB side, like, oh, they're giving us all this terrible things, but now the global side is doing it a little bit more often than the JB side ever did. They're doing it almost every banner now, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Oh, another thing, when I scroll down, the global side does have these Neovision EX ticket guarantees. The JB side does not have anything even similar to that, unless you pull for the safety net. There's nothing even close to being like this. So you basically use 10 tickets and you just get a Neovision unit just like that. Another thing is that the global side has US or 5-star select summon tickets for any unit that's 5-star. Whereas on the JP side, there's still the Summon Fest requirement, so there's a thing called Summon Fest, which is not really a thing anymore as it used to be. But you still can't pick any of the Summon Fest units, unfortunately. But on the global side, you can pick basically anything, and you can also pick prisms or units. Whereas on the JB side, all you can pick is units, and you don't have a huge selection like you do on the global side. So there is that as well. The global side has daily roulette, like not really a roulette. This 7 things, and then you get some rewards at the end after a certain amount of rewards that were spinned. So the global side does have that, the JB side does not. The JB side has paid banners, which again I wish didn't exist, but the global side has yet to have anything similar to that other than the 5-star bundle that was paid. And I know that's a big meme, but it was a thing, it was actually real. So there's that. The global side has elemental battles. You can say that, you say what you want on that, but the global side does have elemental battles, the JP side does not. They typically get dark visions about the same time. The global side has the monthly fortune coins now, whereas the JP side does not. But sometimes they do blue ticket events where they'll have things that you can get with the blue tickets. The global side has gotten that recently too, so you guys have experienced that. Very similar. The JB side has been doing item world basically forever. They have not shut it off. They've basically been extending item world and item world and item world and item world over and over again for the past few months, and they have not turned it off. So basically, item world is basically forever on the JB side, to the point where it's not even really special anymore, but it's at the same time where you can get double rares, whereas on the global side you can't get double rares just yet, sometime soon. Another thing is that the JB side has a Monday summon, so basically every Monday or Sunday, if you are not living in Japan, Sunday or Monday, whatever it may be, there's a weekly summon just one summon that's been like that for many years now. It's not a big deal typically, but it's a Monday summon. It makes you, I don't know, it's a summon that you get for free. Helps out a little bit, huh? So there's that as well. The global side typically tends to give out more tickets than the JB side nowadays, so that's another thing. And the JB side just, I can't show it off now because unfortunately it's over, but the JB side does do whale weeks, where basically if you've even experienced the JB side maybe once or twice and you see people with like gold borders or rainbow borders around their name, they've spent a lot of laps to get to that point. So basically you spend a lot of laps basically to get to the highest point, you get a whole bunch of rewards. And on top of that, if you're just a casual player, you don't have to spend any laps because you'll get pots and things like that as like a milestone. So it's kind of a unique event. You can also potentially get vision cards. Like if you get up high enough, you can get a new vision card that's exclusive to that event. So I wish I could show you that, guys, but unfortunately it's over now. So there's that as well. The JB side has been doing a lot more crafting events now. The global side, I'm sure we'll get to that eventually. So I think I've covered pretty much everything. The rest is just more about this. The JB side has this, but global probably will get it eventually. I don't know when, but it's one of those things. Oh, last thing, Chocobo, Slot City Chocobo. You can say whatever you want with that. Remember, guys, we're just talking about facts. So the global side does have the Slot City Chocobo, and the JB side does not have that. I think I've covered basically everything I could possibly cover in this video. Yeah, I think I've covered pretty much everything. There's another thing that won't show up for me because I've already done it, but there was a thing called Grand Missions on the JB side that I don't think the global side probably will ever get because they probably forgot about it already. I think most people have probably forgot about the Grand Missions already, but they were a huge list of things that you had to do in the game, and you got a lot of rewards in between. Some of them were really significant, some of them were not so much, but it was still good. So the last thing we're going to talk about is the Grand Missions. Unfortunately, I can't show you because they disappeared a long time ago for me because I did them already. But there was a thing that was right here and would show, I think Lastful or Rain or Lastful or something right here in a picture, and it would be Grand Missions. So that was another thing that the JP side does have, and I don't know if Global will ever get it. So guys, I think that's going to be it. I think I covered pretty much everything that I could possibly do. But if there was something that you were curious about for either side, saying like, oh, what does this get and what does this get, just make sure to leave them in the comment section down below. That will be your assignment. No hashtag words this time. Just go ahead, and if you have any other questions, leave them in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you in the very next one. Peace.